Home Alone is a 1990 American Christmas comedy film directed by Chris Columbus and written and produced by John Hughes. The first film in the Home Alone franchise, the film stars Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, and Catherine O'Hara. Culkin plays Kevin McCallister, a boy who defends his suburban Chicago home from burglars after his family accidentally leaves him behind on their Christmas vacation to Paris. Writer and producer John Hughes conceived Home Alone while on vacation, with Warner Brothers being originally intended to finance and distribute the film. However, Warner Brothers shut down production after it exceeded its assigned budget, and so 20th Century Fox assumed responsibilities following secret meetings with Hughes. Columbus and Culkin were hired soon afterwards. Filming took place between February and May 1990 on locations across Illinois. Home Alone premiered in Chicago November 10, 1990, and was theatrically released in the United States on November 16th and received positive reviews, with praise for its cast, humor, and music. Home Alone grossed $476.7 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing live-action comedy until the release of Hangover Part 2 in 2011, and made Culkin a child star. Moreover, it was the second highest-grossing film of 1990, behind Ghost. It was nominated for Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy for Culkin, and for the Academy Award for Best Original Score for John Williams, and Best Original Song, Somewhere in My Memory. Home Alone has since been considered one of the best Christmas films ever made. A sequel, Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, was released in 1992. The cast includes Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McCallister, a rambunctious 8-year-old with a penchant for creating harmful inventions. Joe Pesci as Harry Lime, a short, hot-headed thief who targets the McCallisters' home with Marv. Daniel Stern as Marv Merchants, a tall, dim-witted thief who targets the McCallisters' home with Harry. John Hurd as Peter McCallister, Kevin's father, and Catherine O'Hara as Kate McCallister, Kevin's mother. Hughes suggested to Columbus that they cast Macaulay Culkin as Kevin because of his experience while shooting Uncle Buck. Columbus met with 200 other actors for the part. John Mulaney was asked to audition for the role of Kevin after being scouted in a children's sketch comedy group, but his parents refused the opportunity. Of course, John would go on to do the voice of Andrew Gluberman in Big Mouth. Columbus finally then met with Culkin and agreed he was the right choice. After Robert De Niro and John Lovitz turned down the role of Harry, Joe Pesci accepted it. The role of Uncle Frank was written for Kelsey Grammer, but was given to Gary Banman when Grammer was unavailable. Daniel Stern was cast as Marv, but before shooting started, he was told the production schedule had been extended from 6 weeks to 8. He dropped out after that, as he said he would not be paid more for an extended schedule. Daniel Roebuck was hired to replace him, but after 2 days of rehearsal, Columbus felt he was lacking the chemistry with Pesci and brought back Stern. Roebuck later said that although he was upset to be fired from the production, he now believed the experience was a little blip of unimportance. Chris Farley also auditioned for the role of Santa Claus impersonator, but he failed to impress Columbus. John Candy was available for 1 day to film his scenes, which took 23 hours to shoot. He was paid only $414, since he did the film as a favor to Hughes. In return, he was the only actor Hughes allowed to go off script. According to Columbus, all his dialogue was improvised. Joe Pesci said in a 2022 interview with People of working with Culkin, "I intentionally limited my interactions with him to perceive the dynamic and made sure not to come across on screen that we were in any way friendly in order to maintain the integrity of the adversarial relationship." An injury had occurred though between Pesci and Culkin during one of the rehearsals for the scene in which Harry tries to bite off Kevin's finger. Culkin to this day still has the scar. Now, this is one of those films that really takes you back to being a young child. I remember watching it back then and absolutely loving it. It was really written specifically for children, but in the same breath that adults could really enjoy this one. Yes, of course, the premise is so far-fetched that a young boy like this now could basically hold off 2 adult criminals from robbing his house over Christmas, but then again, that's what made the film so much fun and so original. Now, of course, Macaulay Culkin, to say the least, has had a complicated life, but here he was absolutely perfect in the role and well cast. Culkin just has a presence to him and a confidence that comes through, and he comes across quite a natural within this role. I also felt the film managed to capture some of the best qualities of Christmas and therefore makes for a very, very good Christmas holiday type of film. Some of the scenes will have you laughing in stitches, other times you'll be absolutely shocked and dismayed. But for me, the film never really takes itself too seriously. A lot of the gags, of course, are tongue-in-cheek. I think that one of the best parts of the film is definitely the rapport now here between the fantastic actor like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and their slapstick comedy is just absolutely perfect as these 2 buffoons, who of course are trying now to rob the house where this 8-year-old child is holding them off vehemently. This is a feel-good family holiday Christmas movie at the end of the day. And it will never go down as one of my absolute favourite films at all time. But it's one of those films that if it happens to be on, you can easily pass by half an hour and just laugh and relax as you watch it. I found it fascinating that this was actually the favourite film of US President Gerald Ford. So it just goes to show you, it is that kind of film that will leave the impression on so many. As I said, Culkin is the right amount of cute and clever in this film without being overly obnoxious, which of course it is so easy for a child actor sometimes to cross the line, as it were. Chris Columbus as a director just knows perfectly how to make these type of family kind of movies, and he seems to work with child actors quite well, and therefore his direction really does make this movie work all the more better. So the premise is outlandish, the story though is fun, and of course it's one of those films that you can watch around Christmas time, sit around with family and have a good smile and a good laugh as you enjoy a nice easy movie. Home Alone gets an 8 out of 10.